Welcome back. Vice President Harris's week of soft interviews might not be going according to her plan. Critics from both sides of the aisle saying she needs to do more in order to convince Americans that she is up for the job. Fox News contributor Karl Rove joins us now. Interesting piece in the Wall Street Journal talking about who is Kamala. She says she's not going to be Joe Biden, but she's not telling us who she is. And Karl, I think the fear is Joe Biden sold his soul and let the fringe control him. And ultimately, she may do the same exact thing, except she's more left than he was, which really could be a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, and look, these interviews have not served her well. She gave the Trump campaign a line that I'm sure is going to show up in ads and is going to be repeated ad nauseum in his speeches and by surrogates, and that is that when she was asked what would you have done differently, she said, "I can't think of an important thing." That was the moment where she needed to be able to say, "Look, here's what I intend to do as president," and to say things that caused people to say she's going to be different than Biden. So unless she changes in these interviews and begins to talk about substantive things that cause people to say this is going to make her different, she's going to have trouble. It's going to be a bumpy ride for her.
Swing state polling is very close. We are less than 30 days out. What do these candidates need to be doing right now?
Well, she needs to be laying out the concrete details of what it is that cause her to be seen in people's minds as a strong and effective leader who will, hew more to the middle. So it needs to be substance. She's winning on a lot of personal characteristics. People believe that she cares about people like they think that she'll be more honest and trustworthy. But he's winning on the issue of strong leadership. So if she wants to diminish that advantage, she needs to be seen as a strong leader. He leads on the issues, the three most important issues: the economy, inflation, and the border. She has diminished his lead, but she needs to continue to work to diminish that lead. That can only be done by saying substantive things. What does he need to do? He needs to be more disciplined. This morning I got up and I was watching his Detroit economic speech of a day or two ago, and he spent the first 10 minutes talking about how it really was true that he'd been awarded the Man of the Year by the Oakland Republican Party 15 years ago, and why the New York Times was wrong to say that he hadn't been named Michigan's Man of the Year. Well, he had been named by the local county Republican Party. What did that have to do with the economic club and laying out a message about what he would do for the future of the country? He leads today on the issues, on the three big issues. He's going to lose that lead or lose a big advantage that he's enjoyed in the past if he doesn't start to pay particular attention to that.
All right, he's doing something else, though, Karl. He's going to Aurora, Colorado. He's going to New York. He's going to California. Now, I'm a sports guy. I like playing offense, right? Play to win. That seems like he's playing offense. But is it a strategy that you think will help him in this election?
Well, I actually had this conversation with him in May of 2016, in which I said you need to stay focused on the battleground states, and the only time that you ought to go outside of a battleground state is when you do either have to raise money or you have something that has a national import. Now, what he's trying to do in Aurora, Colorado, is use the presence of members of a Venezuelan gang to make the argument that immigration is affecting every community around the country. We'll see how well that goes. California is not so clear to me, but every day you spend in a state like Aurora, Colorado, or Southern California is a day you can't spend in a state that is absolutely critical for your election. And we do know that if a candidate appears in a place, it tends to help gain more strength for his candidacy. So I'm not going to make a judgment as to whether or not these should have been done or not done. We'll only know that in retrospect. But if you do decide to go outside of a battleground state, it better be because you're raising a lot of money or because it is an event that causes people to say, wow, there's a national message. Ronald Reagan went to New Jersey with the Statue of Liberty in the background in one of his most quintessential appearances. Trump tried to duplicate that earlier this year. A smart move on Ronald Reagan's part. The question is whether or not it's going to be a smart move on Donald Trump's part, and we don't know that yet.
These will be critical decisions. Time will tell. Karl Rove, we so appreciate your time today. Thank you.
You bet.